begin. Let me report. Yeah, well, I can't wait to hear what Nick and his team have to say about Guyana and Belize. Welcome to Caribbean Thought. This is lecture 10. And we will continue with the group presentations this week. And this week, group two will present, and afterwards, group two will present on Belize. But before you guys present, there's something happening. Jamaica, I don't know if you guys see what's going on in terms of the tariff. The U.S. has charged tariffs on the world. They have charged a tariff. That questions whether or not we live in a world that promotes globalization. But globalization, or neoliberal globalization, has always been a problem. Of course, the book, your textbook, the title of it is Neoliberalism, Globalization, Income Inequality, Poverty and Resistance. And that book is a book that is beyond its years, because in 2021, when that book was published, I show how globalization has disproportionately affected people of the global south. Now in the US, the justification for tariffs, the justification for charging tariffs, which many Americans agree, is that the US, a lot of countries have been milking the US. The US have had to be helping a lot of countries. But I have said not so true, not true. Obviously, people have not read my book, okay? Because throughout history, since we started to speak towards globalization has disproportionately affected peoples of the global south, okay? And I'm going to make a point, and a point that must be made. I said earlier, and I'm happy that Nick Group is going to be talking about Guyana, because I mentioned Guyana. But I said earlier, and I want those of us who are watching or listening, this is a powerful class. The last couple of classes have been, this semester have been powerful. It has been powerful. For those of us who haven't gotten into the class yet and to the concepts, it is beyond the exam, okay? It is reality. The class deals with reality. Now, I tweeted earlier, and my twin brother and I, Ricardo, will be doing a show called The Pulse, either later tonight or tomorrow. We will continue the issues. But I said earlier, how can the US charge Jamaica? Because this is Caribbean thought. This is Caribbean thought. How can the US charge Jamaica and Haiti and the Caribbean countries tariffs? And by the way, I looked at it, Guyana was on there. Okay, and almost every single Caribbean country is on there. I didn't see Jamaica, but then I learned later on, and I think the Jamaica Observer, the Jamaica Gleaner, and so on, that we are seeing reciprocal tariffs being charged, reciprocal tariffs. So I'm saying, how can the U.S. charge a post-industrial developed country, charge Jamaica, Haiti, and other Caribbean countries tariffs, when our U.S. multinationals and transnationals have killed their markets, the Caribbean markets, and the International Monetary Fund has made them, the Caribbean, into dependent capitalist markets. The US has penetrated and cheapened Caribbean capabilities and markets with our US products. The Caribbean send hundreds of millions of billions of dollars every year in royalties back to the US. So why is Trump charging these emerging and vulnerable countries tariffs? Learn more and about how globalization and unfair trading tactics have impacted the Caribbean. Reading Neoliberalism, Globalization, Income. I tweeted that earlier, and a fuller article is available in the Neoliberal journals at neoliberal.com. Then I said later on, after 2 minutes later, I tweeted, because I was on a rant. Guyana, we're about to hear about Guyana. Guyana found oil, but never had the capability and capacity to extract and enrich the oil into the finished product. So they got US companies to help them. That help has costed them, the Guyanese, 78%, because Guyana only gets back 12% of the profit after they pay the US companies. That's a fact. And you can read it in the upcoming book, Neoliberal Globalization Reconsidered, Unfair Competition and the Death of Nations. And finally, and I said this earlier, the final one before the group presents, One of my friends used to work for Comcast and Comcast Business as a customer service rep, now called call center rep, getting anywhere between 17 to 21 US dollars per hour in Philly. Comcast laid him off and outsourced the job to the Philippines and the Caribbean, where Comcast pays call center reps anywhere between $1 to $3.50 US dollars per day. Remember, now, let me say this again. One of my friends used to work for Comcast in the US, and Comcast Business, the customer service rep, now called call center rep, getting $17 to $21 per hour in Philly. Comcast laid these people off and outsourced the job to the Philippines and the Caribbean, where Comcast pays call center reps anywhere between $1 to $3.50 per day. Yet we charge them reciprocal tariffs up to 10% plus direct tariff on some of the other Caribbean countries like Guyana. They want, I said the US want to have our cake and eat it too. Don't be greedy. Greed leads to glut and then debt. Neoliberal globalization reconsidered. Unfair competition and the death of nations. Anyways, that's it for now. That's it for now. Nick, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, Mr. McKenzie, class, colleagues. This is Group 2, and our topic will be exploring islands of the Caribbean, Guyana, and Belize. My group members are Amanda Walters, Heather Johnson, and myself, Nicholas Roberts. Guyana and Belize, two culturally vibrant countries in our Caribbean, provide compelling insights into the enduring influence of Afrocentrism. Guyana, known as the land of many waters, seated on South America's northern coast, while Belize, famed for its coral reefs and rainforests, is situated in Central America.